welcome to another fantastic season of Sega Sonic Radio. I am your host, as always, GX, aka Chris, aka the Spin Dash, one of your fantastic writers for Sonic Stadium over at sonicstadium.org. And, yeah, hey, if it's your first time listening, welcome to Sega Sonic Radio. Sega Sonic Radio is 2-ish hours of great Sega and Sonic tunes, many of which have been requested by you. Over on our forums, over on our Discord, over on other social media platforms. And I've compiled them, I've rolled them all in together. This week's theme is first level favorites. You've been sending me your first level favorites. And with that, I think we're just going to kick it off with our first request. Although, before we get to the request, you guys have stuffed the request stuff, all across this week. We got a lot of requests going on, so if you happen to not hear yours early, it's probably because there's so many. We're gonna get through them all, don't worry. But there are so many, including our first. Not that. Uh-oh. We're already going weird here. Let's see if we can fix that real quick. What are we gonna do here? What do we have in loop? Nope. All of that is not correct. Let's do a browser refresh and see if that helps. There we go. It's just running on old data. Hey, we got our first Spinbox for the year, and it comes from Dodo asking, hey, any New Year's resolutions? To which I would say, oh boy, get a job? Have a decent paying job? That's kind of it. Last year's resolution was lose some weight. I succeeded to various degrees, and then unsucceeded over the winter, as it became, you know, depression's a heck of a thing. But, just get things in order. Like, get things organized, get things running properly, and, maybe find some way to get the pieces of reality back together as much as I have the capacity to do so. Hopefully you have a more sensible New Year's resolution than me, but it's at least a good start. So let's go ahead and jump in. Dodo's got a request for you, this is a triple request kicking off the show, including 2 first-time requesters. We've got one from Dodo, we've got one from Sonata Churros, and we've got one from CTR Polar. But we're gonna start things off with some Sonic CD. Popping those headphones. We're heading to some Palm Tree Panic. Catch you guys after the break. welcome back. That was... looking at my list. That was Palm Tree Panic P-Mix from Sonic the Hedgehog CD Japanese version requested by Dodo, followed up by Green Hill Zone from Sonic the Hedgehog requested by Sonato Churros, and Sonic Superstars opening theme requested by CTR Polar. Right now I'm looking as to why requests aren't showing up on screen. I will probably have to bug test that. As the show goes on, it should be showing some songs here. Don't know why it's not. It's showing you the names of the songs. I tested this. I don't know. It's a complex, it's a whole complex thing. So, hopefully I can fix it by the time, but I'll make sure to read the requests as we go through, as I normally do, so don't think I haven't missed any. But before we do, we've got another Spinbox coming in. This one from... Nope, that was the last one. This one from Epically Epic Guy over on the forums, who asks, have you enjoyed the Chaotic case file so far? Which I would say, yeah! I think it's really great. I think this sort of Sonic narrative that, you know, gets to be a little bit more lighthearted and focus on the interactions between characters is quite refreshing. I think it's really good. Sonic Trainer in chat's bringing up the lore as like, lore's fine. I love when characters have chemistry and can bounce off of each other effectively. And this series has a lot of that. It has fantastic voice direction. It has a really fun script. It feels like the voice actors have something to work with more so than they often do in maybe more visual mediums. But yeah, it's great. If you haven't caught it, go check out Chaotix Case Files. It's really solid, and it's free to catch on your local podcatcher or YouTube. And then go listen to Sonic Talk Podcast, where we have discussed the last 4 episodes. You can find that over on our YouTube. Epically Epic Guy has a request, as do D and the Karma Collector 1994. Let's take a listen, and while we do, I'm going to try to figure out why the overlay is broked. Enjoy! See you in a bit. after some very strenuous bug testing, I think I finally fixed the overlay here. Hey, that was Azure Blue World from Sonic Adventure, requested by Epically Epic Guy, followed up by Escape from the City from Sonic Adventure 2, requested by D and the Karma Collector in 1994. Double request. Sometimes we get overlap. Hey, you know what? Kills two birds with one stone. Why not? Wrapping it up with Tropical Resort Act 1 from Sonic Colors. Hope you enjoyed. Thought I had a good vibe that went with the other two. You know what else has a good vibe? A brand new segment for this season. You got some in the loop. You all send me questions. GX, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? Well, this time, I sent you guys a question. These are in a random order, so no specific prioritization. But I asked you a question this week. I asked, what is your favorite Sonic game intro, and why do you like it? And you responded. I got a couple of replies. First, Karma Collector is our first, who says, I think my favorite Sonic intro goes to Sonic and the Black Knight. Even though I never played the game originally, that's probably a good choice. You might want to keep it that way. I kept coming back to the opening cutscene as it perfectly encapsulates Sonic's character to a T. His positive energy, his easygoing attitude when faced with adversity, as well as his interactions with Merlina. It just sums up who Sonic is in terms of his character traits in one excellent cutscene. Really is a pretty good introduction. Like, I have complaints about Sonic and the Black Knight, but I will tell you, its story and general tone are not one of them. It's a pretty fun-toned game. And, yeah, that intro definitely does set the tone quite well. We got a reply from Epically Epic Guy, who says, it's between Unleashed or CD's opening, but I think I have to give it to CD. It shows Sonic's attitude and speed masterfully. That hand-drawn animation in Sonic CD set to Sonic Boom or Sonic Warrior, depending on it. And I think, personally speaking, I think Sonic Boom is the better fitting song, but also I'm in the Americas, so I might be biased. I might like the other song a little bit better, but I think the cutscene fits Sonic Boom a little bit more closely. We got one more for this first half. D says, my fave intro is Sonic Adventure 2's intro for the hero story. To me, it's because that cutscene establishes a lot of Sonic's character in under a minute. No food or movies, I'm out of here. I think that's it. You know, Knuckles complains about people on Twitter. Knuckles, writer on staff, complains about people on Twitter who want to define Sonic's characterization. But if you want to say Sonic isn't quippy, like then you haven't played Sonic Adventure 2. Because his first lines in that cutscene are a quip, as he breaks out of a military helicopter. We've got a couple more in the loop, but we're gonna throw those at you later because we've got some trivia. It's the Quizzone. Once again, we're gonna go test your Sonic trivia skills. How good is your Sonic trivia skills? We've got a question for you, and this question is appropriately from Sonic Adventure 2. Your trivia question to start off is about Iron Gate. In Sonic Adventure 2's Iron Gate, the first Eggman stage, it denotes security levels by a number on the door. How many levels are there? Going by the numbers on the door, how many levels are there? As always, you can guess in chat if you want. If you don't want to guess in chat, go ahead and hide chat, and we'll let you know But the answer is afterwards. I don't know why I hid that, but sure, whatever. Okay. Take a listen. I'm gonna let you know after. Welcome back once again. Well, of course, that was Remember Me, MFM from Sonic Adventure 2's Iron Gate. Once again, your Quizzone question is, Sonic Adventure 2's Iron Gate denotes security levels by a number on the door. How many levels are there? We had many guesses in chat, many very close guesses, some accurate guesses, and if you guessed 5, you would be the most accurate. There are 5 security levels. However, I don't know, if you said 6, you might not be completely wrong. Like, there's a last set of doors. They don't really have a number on them, but you get to shoot a missile through them. Maybe they have, maybe there's a number under the blast shielding, who knows. But there's about 5 security levels, and Eggman breaks through them all. If you enjoyed that trivia, we've got one more trivia question coming at you later in the show, as well as some other new experimental segments. Hopefully you're going to enjoy. And hopefully my rapid work on some JavaScript testing has yielded results as we check out our next song after we check out our Spinbox. Sonic Trainer sends in, could a horse character work in a Sonic game? Could a horse character work? So, interestingly, there is a horse in a Sonic game. There is a horse in a Sonic game. And it is in the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I believe Rio does. Tokyo might. I can't remember perfectly. I cannot remember if London does, but I don't think London does. But it does have, an equestrian event. Actually, technically, I guess there are also horses in Sonic and the Secret Rings. There's one level where Sonic has like a cart that he rides on being pulled by horses, by non-anthropomorphic horses. And Sonic Trainer brings up, yep, there is at least one anthropomorphic horse character in Archie that I'm aware of, and I don't know Fleetway enough to point to anyone. I'd say probably. I would say probably. It would just be a question of, like, how do you interpret that? How do you interpret horse features onto a Sonic character? And I'm trying to think if IDW has any mammalian characters with that kind of body structure converted. Like, is there a cow character? Is there a camel character? I can't think of any, like, off the top of my head. Zebras? No? I'm gonna say yes. And I'm gonna say he's going to look like the zebra form of Donkey Kong in Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's my answer. It works, and it looks like an ultra buff zebra gorilla horse. That's how we do it. And this is how we play music. Sonic Trainer had a request for Sonic Unleashed. We also have another request from Podeye. And provided my overlay fixes work, you should see those on screen shortly. So let's take a listen, and fingers crossed. See you guys on the other side. welcome back. That was Windmill Island Day. Windmill Isle Day from Sonic Unleashed, requested by Sonic Trainer, followed up by Neo Green Hill Zone Act 1 from Sonic Advance, requested by Podeye. Wrapping it up with Plant Kingdom, Act 1 and 2 mix from Sonic Rush Adventure. Let's dig once again into the Spinbox. We've got some mail from Sage, who asks, it was Pancake Day earlier this week here. How does Dr. Eggman spend Pancake Day? I put some thought into this over the week, and my assumption about how Dr. Eggman spent Pancake Day is it began, we'll say, like 2 years ago, with basically him instructing Orbot and Cubot to make him flapjack breakfast, which is to say that Cubot made it, and Orbot was supervising, as he does. And we'll say after 2 or 3 repeated failed attempts, he effectively just built a pancake 3D printer and now just has it construct pancakes in the likeness of his own face, as one would whenever one has access to as much technology as one does, and access to as much ego as one would. But also, I think it's just cool having a pancake 3D printer, which I think is a thing that actually exists. I am confirming online. Pancake Bot is a thing. How much is it? You can get I'm sorry. You cannot get the Pancake Bot 1.0 anymore with Kickstarter. It was $299 and is sold out. You might be able to get Pancake Bot 2.0 variant packaging for a little under $800. If you have desire to 3D print a pancake, that's something that you could do. But you know, I'm sure Dr. Eggman built his own with his own design, specifically to make pancakes of his own face. Would you eat a pancake of your own face? I've eaten Mickey Mouse pancakes in the past that my father has prepared. I would find it odd to eat a pancake of my own face. I don't think I have anything to follow that up on. It would just feel odd to eat a pancake of your own face. Would I eat a pancake of someone else's face, though? While we ponder that, I'm going to jump into Sage's request. He wanted something from Billy Hatcher. We also have a request from SSJ Tutu Terrace. And then another song that isn't a request. Enjoy! I'll catch you guys in a bit.
Cook-a-doo-doo!
back. That was the beginning of Adventures. No, Adventure Singular. From Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, requested by Sage, followed up by Green Grove, Act 1, from Sonic 3D Blast Saturn version. Wrapping it up with the overworld tone from New Super Mario Bros. U. Got a lot of fancy stuff going on now. Made some pretty big significant updates to the old overlay, and I would say the biggest problem right now is that I have a lot of buttons that I used to have labeled with very fancy pictures and did not have time to finish labeling them with very fancy pictures. I am fumbling around with all of my... I easily have like 100 different control buttons on my screen at a given time. So many things that I need to operate the various visual effects going on. But hopefully you're enjoying. And more importantly, hopefully you're giving me some feedback, because we got a couple more in the loop. Once again, the week's question was, what was your favorite Sonic game intro, and why do you like it? Sonic Trainer says, I have to go with Sonic Unleashed's opening, where Sonic takes on Dr. Eggman's Egg Fighter Badniks, destroys most of the ships as Supersonic, and finally turns into the Werehog as Dark Gaia emerges from the broken Earth. It's a very vivid, very cinematic intro for certain. Dodo says, my favorite intro is the toy animation Sonic CD intro. I mean, what's not to like? Vintage anime action. I'm personally a bigger fan of the outro, but I'm a big supporter of classic animation. I took some editor's liberties, because Dodo over here was smack-talking a certain Sonic cartoon I rather like. And I kind of eliminated some side smack talk. Focus on positives. You can yell at me in the Discord. In the loop, our last for today is Sage. Sage says, the first that springs to mind is the intro of Sonic Adventure 2's Dark Story. There's something so cool about this opening cutscene together with the first stage, as you're immediately thrown into the action. And yeah, it's a solid intro. It's kind of fascinating to think that first level of the hero side story, you begin with Sonic, and with Shadow being such a prominent component of that dark story, he's not the first character you play as. You get thrown into a level with Dr. Eggman. He's the first character that you play as in that side of the story. Oh, Escape's got it. But you know what we got? You know what that sound is? Well, actually, yeah, you probably don't, because this is the first time for that segment. It's fight music. It's fight music. Oh, I'm sorry, Sage also says Eggman breaking the business. It's so fun getting to see be the bad guy. I also love how Eggman's theme song plays during the opening cutscene, too. It's also bombastic. I love it. I apologize, because it's time for a music fight. A new segment for this season is the music fight. We've picked 2 randomly selected songs for you. This week, our contestants are Metal Sonic Boss, Sonic Pocket Adventure, versus online multiplayer from Team Sonic Racing. Went ahead and put in your votes, and we've got a winner tonight. Our winner, with 66.6% repeating. Let's take a listen. Little Sonic Boss, your winner for this week's music fight with 66.6% of the votes. Thank you for all who participated. We've got our next slot of fighters for next week, and I suspect it's going to be a pretty one-sided fight. Your poll will go up on Monday, and your next contestants for music fight are Warriors Wasteland from Sonic Boom Fire and Ice and Team Chaotix from Sonic Heroes. I suspect this is going to be a pretty one-sided fight. So get those votes in next week. We'll bring you another music fight on Friday. We've got more requests coming at you, including another Spinbox. MFA over on the Discord writes, after the final DLC for CrossWorlds, Avatar: The Last Airbender, what do you think we could get as a Year 2 Season Pass DLC? So I'm going to put aside, let's put away Skeptical GX. Skeptical GX does not think that we're going to get another one. But if we put him away, then who would we put in? I would say we're probably not going to get something as dramatic. I would not be surprised if a second DLC pack would include stuff related to the upcoming Paramount film, Sonic 4. That would be my biggest suspicion. That would be my biggest suspicion, is like we would get stuff that would go with the movie, whether it be like whether it be full new characters or skins for existing characters or something like that. Knuckles suggests Hello Kitty in DC. The DC costumes would probably make for pretty decent, reasonable things. Tom in a police car. Give me Wade. I want Wade. Give me my Wade in the CrossWorlds. Adam Pally demands to travel space and time to race. I would say, like I said, the movie is the biggest one to me. If we're not going to get Angry Birds in the free updates so far, I would not be surprised if we get Angry Birds in one way, in some way, shape, or form in like a second wave. That seems like something I would expect. Kiryu seems like a bit of a I'm glad we have Ichiban. I do feel like Kiryu would be a good addition. I'm trying to think who else in like the broader game culture. Like you couldn't get anyone from Nintendo. I don't think you would get anyone from Nintendo because they would want exclusivity for that. And Escape is correct. Majima would be very funny. I think you could do... Oh! You could do a, the cats from Monster Hunter, the Phalines? I don't remember all of them. I don't remember what they're called. That might be the correct name, but I don't remember. The cats from Monster Hunter. Dawn and Pa, the, Don-chan and... I don't know, the drums from Taiko no Tatsujin. Let's get the drums from Taiko no Tatsujin. Those would be fantastic additions from Namco Bandai. Kind of stuck on Namco at the moment. Chris Redfield. Get us Chris Redfield and have him be... That's my answer. Just, everyone complains about the DLC characters not being voiced. So get all of the characters that are specifically voiced by Roger Craig Smith. And then just get him into the studio to voice all these characters. You've got Chris Redfield, you've got Ezio from Assassin's Creed. You get Captain America. Just put Captain America in the game. Yeah, Batman. I think he voiced a Batman, didn't he? Did he? I'm trying to remember if he did. Knuckles is pushing for Echo the Dolphin. I don't have the affinity that he does for Echo the Dolphin, so I have nothing to say here. Otherwise, hey, I think it's time for another request. And we've got MFA's request coming at you with some CrossWorlds sounds, as well as a request from Sparkman. Let's take a listen, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. everybody. Welcome back. That was E-Stadium from Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, as requested by MFA, followed up by the main theme of Sonic Prime, requested by Sparkman. Wrapping it up with Monkey Island, the opening stage of Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz. Hope you enjoyed. We've got another Spinbox coming at you. This one from, I don't know, some jerk. Some jerk on staff. I don't know. I don't recognize his Knuckles 87? Knuckles has a K at the beginning. Dingus. Knuckles 87 asks, who do you think is the culprit in the Chaotix case files? Who do I think is the culprit in the Chaotix case files? Okay. Given everything we know about what has happened so far, I'm digging deep here. I think it was Dark Gaia. There, I've answered your question. It's definitely Dark Gaia. That's who the culprit is. It was Dark Gaia. Perfect answer. I will be vindicated in the last episode. Whichever episode is going to be the last episode, I don't know. Knuckles has a request. A Knights-ish request. As does Haslam, who has a request that is not as Knights-ish. Let's take a listen. And I'll see you guys on the other side. Hey, welcome back. That was Paternal Horn from Nights into Dreams, requested by Knuckles87. Followed up by Dragon Valley 1 from Freedom Planet. I made a big mistake drinking a soda for this episode. Big mistake drinking a soda. But you know what's not a mistake? Our last quiz for the evening. Let's go ahead and bring it up, and we've got a new quiz format for you. I'll be shaking things up with different formats of quizzes. I've got lots of different formats of quizzes. So many different formats. But that's not entirely true. I have like 2 or 3 more. And we're gonna shuffle them around. We're not gonna be as consistently structured as before. And our first new format is a Jack Ask. That's right, I'm a big fan of the You Don't Know Jacks. And I thought it would be a good fun time to You Don't Know Jack at you, so I brought out our good friend Jack Sinclair for a new quiz format called Jack Ask. Tonight's Jack Ask is called Sonic Without Sonic. Your question is, let's say Sonic the Hedgehog, the character, was lacking Sonic the Hedgehog, the protein, from his zone of polarizing activity. What ability might he lose? A, his ability to roll into a ball. B, his sense of balance. C, his ability to digest chili dogs. Or D, his running speed. As always, you can guess in chat if you want. If you don't want to guess in chat, you don't have to. We will let you know at the end. Get your guesses in. In the meantime, here's some Sonic Frontiers. That was Database from Sonic Frontiers. Your Jack Ask, one more time, is, let's say Sonic the Hedgehog, the character, was lacking Sonic the Hedgehog, the protein, from his zone of polarizing activity. What ability might he lose? And of course, the answer, if I can get my overlay to work, is D, his running speed. Sonic the Hedgehog protein from the zone of polarizing activity helps activate limb growth. It would be pretty hard for Sonic to run as fast without his arms or legs. he would probably lose his running speed. Thanks for playing this new segment called Jack Ask. It will probably make a return at some point in the future. I don't know when, but it probably will. We've got some more requests coming at you. Next ones come from Bambaraptor9 and QuirtX Games. Let's take a listen. Oh, Knuckles, it can't be a stretch if you don't have your arms and legs, obviously. Enjoy. Catch you guys in a bit. welcome back. That was Westopolis from Shadow the Hedgehog, requested by Bambaraptor9. Followed up by Toxic Caves, requested by Court-X Games. Wrapping it up with Go Straight from Streets of Rage 2. Approaching the end of the evening, this is our last trio of songs and our last set of requests. I'm just gonna jump right into it. Hope you had a good week. Seems a little bit too strong. Hope you had a survivable week. It's been rough. I would say it's been rough for most of us this week. It's been especially rough as someone who keeps up with both the game industry and, you know, traditional, actual, you know, I was going to say real world news. It's not as if the game industry isn't the real world, but the larger state of the world, I guess I would say. And I like to think that SEGASonic Radio predominantly brings some good vibes to help ease you into the weekend. And I'm hoping that we accomplish that tonight. But before we go, we do have to accomplish some requests, including our last two requests, one of them from Mio over on the Twitters, and one from Castel Neath as well. We got some Mega Man coming at you. Hope you enjoy. Catch you guys in a bit. That was opening stage 1 from Mega Man 8 as requested by Mio, followed up by Sylvania Castle Zone Act 1 from Sonic 4 Episode 2, requested by Castell Neath. Wrapping it up with Wave Ocean, The Water's Edge from Sonic 06. Hope you enjoyed. Hope your weekend has been properly welcomed. Once again, the next set of request threads will go up on Monday. So if you are wanting to get in a request for the next episode, keep an eye on sonicstadium.org, keep an eye on our Discord, keep an eye on our social platforms. If you're watching live on YouTube, hey, this is the first time that we are doing this show live on YouTube. I will tell you, the VOD will not stay on the Sonic Stadium channel. It will go to the Sega Sonic Radio channel tomorrow. So take a look. You just have to search Sega Sonic Radio over on YouTube, and you will find it without issue. Give it a subscribe. We are attempting to get our subscriber numbers a little bit pumped up. If we can make it to 500, I have pledged that I will play Balan Wonderworld on stream. Yes, that Balan Wonderworld, the one that you are thinking of. The one that made me so mad last time I streamed it. So upset. But if you want to make me so upset, go over and give it a subscribe. We've got one... Well, actually, we got one more song, but also I want to highlight that, yes, my opinions are my own, but the show broadly is under the banner of Sonic Stadium over at sonicstadium.org, one of the internet's longest-running Sonic fan communities. We've got news coverage, we've got forums, we've got a Discord, we've got a YouTube channel, we've got so much content going on over there, and we've got a great community that you can interact with. You want to talk Sonic with people? We've got some great people over there to talk Sonic with. We also have one more song for you tonight. Our final closer is coming at you from Sonic X Shadow Generations. And as thematically is appropriate, it is Highway in the Sky, Teddy Lloyd and June Snow remix. Enjoy! I will catch you guys next week. And as always, welcome to the weekend. know, something did come up earlier this episode. I think we have to close it appropriately. I think we have to close this appropriately, and I can't think of a more appropriate song than given previous Spinbox than this.